So like she said, I'm CEO of Euclid. We describe ourselves as Google Analytics for the physical world. And really we focus on giving data to retailers where they really have nothing right now. So I grew up in this really weird home where pictures of shopping centers hung side by side, family portraits. My grandfather was one of the first shopping center developers. And he pioneered this idea of tenant mix, which is if you built a shopping center and you put in a grocery store and people would go into the grocery store and visit 5 other stores, it would perform better than if you put in a Sears and people would go in there and buy what they needed and then leave. And so this was an idea that made his career, but really he had no data. You know, it was all based on gut. You know, he'd go out and feel the hoods of cars to see how long people were staying, but really he didn't have anything to go on. And so this drove me nuts. And for the past 2 years, we've been trying to create data where there was none and answer questions that were previously unanswerable. And it's happening at a really interesting time. So online and offline are converging. There's increasing competition from e-commerce. And the big advantage that Amazon has is not tax loopholes, especially now. It's not unlimited inventory. It's actually data. Data is what allows them to get people through the site seamlessly, make sure they're engaged, and that they're coming back as frequently as possible. And so really, instead of a click stream, what we're trying to build is a foot stream. And here's how it works. So basically, people carry smartphones, and smartphones have Wi-Fi, and we put sensors in stores that passively detect the smartphones and collect the MAC address. We take all that data, post it to our cloud, and from there we analyze it and give retailers things like, you know, how many people are walking by, how many people are coming in, how long are they staying, so that they can really optimize their business. And really, you know, the main goal of this is to make stores more profitable. There's no store that is more optimized from a Windows display perspective or a workforce management perspective than Apple. And that's really what we're trying to allow all retailers to do, to have the data to make smart decisions and you know, run their stores effectively. But another really exciting thing that this does is it's not just corporate that's making all the decisions. It's actually, it allows, you know, the regional managers or the store associate to actually use their local knowledge to make decisions. What's cool about this is, one, we've shortened the feedback loop. So if they decide that a certain window would work well in this area, it's not going to take a quarter to test out if they were right or wrong. They can figure it out in a matter of days. So it's a question now that is economically feasible for a store manager to try out and figure out what's working. The other thing that it does is it actually gives them data. So even if the boss thinks something else is right, if they have the data, they can do it, and it's going to be hard to refute it. This is one of the things we're most excited about, is we're actually making better shopping experiences. One of the main things our data is used for right now is to optimize bounce rates. So how many people come into a store, see a line like this, and decide that, you know, forget it, I'm actually not going to go in there, I'm not going to buy anything. You know, I'm just going to hit the road. And so, you know, what people are doing is looking at it and saying, when the number of people increases in the store and the bounce rate also increases, I should open up another register. And we're trying to eliminate lines like this in multiple chains. And the next step, I think, I've been going through what we're doing right now, but I think the next step is taking the data and making, you know, the data actually the product. So, you know, on Amazon, you know, initially they're using analytics to do all the things I said before, make sure people are coming back frequently and having a seamless ride through the site. But it actually turned into the product itself to it. You know, like, you may also like, this might be important to you. And I think that's the same thing that's going to happen offline. So, you know, and when I say it's the same thing that's going to happen offline, it's kind of a return to the past, right? So 50 years ago, you had your local store where you walked in and you had your tab, and, you know, they knew your favorite, and you could have this very personalized, you know, individualized experience. Whereas now you go to like Best Buy and you're strategically trying to avoid the sales associate, and there's like blaring music, and it's this awful experience. You know, really, I think what data can enable, and what some companies are already doing, like Square and PayPal, is to make it a more human experience, to use this data to let the sales associate know that you're in the store, you were looking at this tie, you care about X, Y, and Z, and you're a regular, so you should be able to have a tab, you should be able to have like your usual latte or whatever. And I think that's one of the most exciting things that this data can enable. And that's it. Thanks so much for the time, and it's been interesting.